At Thanksgiving dinner, my daughter, Law Samantha, handed me a filthy mop and snapped, "Stop pretending. You're sick, and clean up then you can. Eat off the floor." My son Daniel added, "Stop using age as an excuse. You eat for free every day. Please the guests for us." That night I packed a single suitcase and vanished. The next day I did something that left them pale with shock. I'm glad you're here. Follow my story to the end and comment with your city so I can see how far it has traveled. The aroma of savory turkey and mashed potatoes filled the house when the doorbell rang for the 5th time that afternoon. It was Thanksgiving, and like every year, Samantha hosted a lavish dinner to parade her perfect life before her friends. What the guests didn't know was that I had cooked nonstop for 3 days, scrubbed every corner, and orchestrated the entire event so she could play the flawless hostess. I stayed in the kitchen, my designated zone, during her parties. I cooked, served, cleaned, but was never invited to the table. At 65, I had become the invisible housekeeper in the home. I had shared with my late husband Robert for 30 years. Samantha called from the dining room in that high-pitched tone she used to sound sweet for company, though it chilled my blood. "Bring more warm dinner rolls." I emerged, balancing a tray of fresh bread. Laughter halted the instant I appeared, as if my presence were an intrusion. 8 guests shifted uncomfortably, eyes sliding away. "Thank you, Beatrice," one mumbled to the tablecloth. Back in the kitchen, I slid an apple pie into the oven and overheard Samantha bragging about her promotion, the upcoming remodel, their Christmas trip, never mentioning me except to demand refills. Around 9, red wine splashed across the white tablecloth I had embroidered by hand the year Robert died, my favorite, reserved for special occasions. "Oh no," Samantha said, annoyance outweighing concern. "Beatrix, get over here immediately." I hurried out, wiping my hands on my apron. The stains spread like blood. "Clean this now before it sets permanently," she ordered. I nodded and reached for supplies. "Wait," she said with a smile that never reached her eyes. She fetched the dirty mop from the closet and thrust it at me before everyone. "Since you love cleaning so much, use this and then eat the crumbs off the floor, like the dog you are." Silence fell like a guillotine. The mop dripped grimy water onto my shaking hands. "Samantha," a friend whispered, uneasy. "What?" She laughed brittly. "She eats for free every day. Never pays a dime. Acts like she owns the place." Then Daniel emerged from the den where he'd been watching football with the husbands. At 38, he looked like a stranger, eyes cold. "Mom," he said in a voice I'd never heard, "stop using age as an excuse. You have to earn your keep. Help when we have guests." "Daniel," I began, voice cracking. "No, Mom, Samantha's right. You live rent-free. Cooperate or be grateful the guests tolerate you." His words struck like fists. I searched the room for one kind face. None met my gaze. Trembling, I knelt and scrubbed my own handiwork with the filthy mop. Tears mixing with suds. No one helped. "Good job," Samantha said smugly. "Now pick up the crumbs under the table." I crawled, gathering crusts and napkins while they dined above me. Humiliation complete, I rose on creaking knees. No hand steadied me. "Go to your room," Daniel said without looking up. "The adults are talking." I walked to the bedroom. Robert and I had shared for decades, closed the door, and felt no tears, only resolve. I hauled out the old suitcase and packed 2 photos of Robert. Medicines, 3 favorite dresses. At 3 a.m., certain they slept, I left the keys on the counter and slipped out the back door. November air stung, but for the first time in years I tasted freedom. The Comfort Inn on Main Street wasn't luxurious, yet that night it felt like a palace. No shouting, no demands, no invisibility. Staring at my reflection, gray hair wild, worry lines steep. Exhaustion etched. I wondered when Beatrix Peterson, Robert's beloved wife, had become this shadow. It began 3 years ago at Robert's funeral. Daniel, then 35, had sobbed into my shoulder, "Don't leave me too, Mom." I moved in temporarily to cook his childhood meals, launder his clothes, fill the void. Samantha, married 6 months, seemed sympathetic. Poor Beat. So hard to be alone. Within weeks, "Since you're here all day, could you?" Tasks multiplied. I paid with Robert's insurance, my pension, our savings, never seeking credit. Friday morning my phone buzzed. "Daniel, Mom, where are you?" Samantha's worried. I ignored it. Messages escalated. "This is ridiculous. Come home." "Disappearing is immature. I'll call police." Each confirmed I was no longer a person to them, merely a malfunctioning appliance. At noon I walked to Grandma's Kitchen Cafe. The 40-something waitress smiled genuinely. "What can I get you, ma'am?" "Black coffee, ham and cheese, visiting," something like that. When she set down the cup, tears welled, not sadness, relief. "You okay?" she asked, remembering I'm human. That afternoon, in the hotel, I opened the laptop Robert and I used for finances and logged into my separate account. His insistence. "A woman needs her own parachute." Balance, $243,822. For 3 years I had paid mortgage, utilities, Daniel's SUV, Samantha's whims, $4,000 AC repair, $8,000 bathroom, $600 monthly car notes, while they called me freeloader. Daniel texted, "Samantha made lasagna your favorite. Come home." I replied, "Safe. Not returning tonight." "Where will you sleep?" "Somewhere I'm respected." I shut the phone. Monday I called the bank. "Cancel every auto transfer today." Reason: my generosity was abused. Done. Anything else? Move the balance to a new branch across town, my name only. Silence felt revolutionary. Daniel rang. Mortgage bounced. Power cuts Monday. We're broke. Who paid the last 3 years? Silence. $1,800 monthly. $120,000 plus total. I didn't know. You never asked. Now learn. I hung up. Thursday he stormed Grandma's kitchen, unshaven, frantic. "We'll lose everything." "Not my house." Samantha's hysterical. Over me or her lifestyle. He begged amounts: $5,000, $10,000. I stood. Family isn't negotiable. I'm building a new one. That afternoon I called cousin Helen in Phoenix. We'd drifted after my marriage, but she listened without interrupting. "Come now," she said. "Big house, big heart, great senior community." I booked a Monday flight. Friday they ambushed my hotel. Samantha, tearful. Daniel, defeated. I was drunk, nervous. "You meant every word." "Will change. Prove it without my wallet." Sunday, a lawyer. "Your son fears for your mental health. Tell him to fear his choices." Samantha pounded later. "You're jealous I'm his future. You're jealous I was his past." I earned love. You bought it. Final call from Daniel. "We lost the house." Samantha left, returned only if you fund us. Love shouldn't need a deposit. I'm scared. Fear will teach you. 6 months later, Phoenix sunrise. Coffee with Helen. I paint. Drive. Buy salmon for no reason. My money, my rules. A social worker called. Elder abandonment report. Tell. My son abandonment is mutual. Bank. Confirmed. They probed my accounts. My will. They arrived ragged, one bedroom. No jobs. $5,000 and we vanish. Samantha eyed the cash. Door closed. I lost a son. Gained dignity. Lost a role. Rediscovered myself. Lost toxicity. Gained authenticity. Perfect trade. Enrolled in photography. Bought a car because I wanted to. That, I decided, is the difference between living and surviving. Comment your city. Let's map how far dignity travels.